The jungle does not forgive. It does not show mercy. And for 17-year-old Julianne Koech, it became the ultimate test of human endurance. It was Christmas Eve, 1971. A small passenger plane, Lanza Flight 508, soared high above the dense, endless green of the Peruvian Amazon. Inside, passengers were chatting, reading, or staring out the window at the sea of trees below. Julianne sat beside her mother, eager to land and celebrate the holidays with her father. She had practically grown up in the rainforest. Her parents were scientists who studied its ecosystem. She felt at home in nature. But nothing could prepare her for what was about to happen. Outside, the clouds darkened. Lightning slashed across the sky. The plane lurched violently. Turbulence slammed passengers against their seats. Gasps turned to screams as overhead compartments burst open, spilling luggage into the aisles. Then, it happened. A bolt of lightning struck the right wing. The aircraft shattered midair. The sound was like a bomb going off. Julianne was ripped from the plane. One moment, she was in her seat. The cold air rushed past her. She spiraled wildly, the world a blur of clouds, debris, and wind. She was plummeting from 10,000 feet, then blackness. She was falling. Julianne woke up on the jungle floor. She was still strapped to her seat. Somehow, she had survived the fall. The thick jungle canopy had broken her descent, but the impact was still catastrophic. Her collarbone was broken. Her right eye was swollen shut. A deep gash on her arm was oozing blood, crawling with insects. Her head throbbed, and her body was battered and bruised. She called for her mother. Nothing. She was completely alone. Above her, the sky was clear. The storm had passed. The jungle, however, was alive. The air hummed with insects. The distant howl of monkeys echoed through the trees. Shadows moved in the dense undergrowth. Predators. Julianne's brain screamed at her to panic, to cry, to scream, to give up. But something her father had taught her surfaced in her mind. Rule number 1 of survival: stay calm. Her injuries were bad, but she could still move. She knew that in the jungle, dehydration would kill her faster than anything. Her father had told her, always find water. It leads to civilization. With one shoe and blurry vision, she stumbled through the rainforest. Hours passed. She was weak, shaking, but she kept moving. Then, she heard it. A faint trickling sound. Water. She pushed through the thick undergrowth and found a small stream. Relief flooded her body. She collapsed beside it, scooping water into her mouth, but she knew she couldn't stop. The stream would lead to a river. And rivers meant people. With a broken body and no supplies, she started walking. Julianne waded through the water, following the stream as the hours dragged into days. But the jungle fought back. Her infected wounds oozed pus. Her vision blurred. Hunger gnawed at her insides. She had no food, no way to start a fire, nothing but her sheer will to survive. At night, she huddled under tree roots. The jungle came alive in the darkness, the low growl of a jaguar. The rustling of something moving just beyond the trees. Would she be next? But Julianne refused to give in. By day 9, her body was shutting down. Then, she saw something that didn't belong. A boat. At first, she thought it was a hallucination. But no, it was real, and nearby a hut. Inside, she found a can of gasoline. She remembered something her father had once told her. Gasoline could be used to kill parasites. Her infected wounds were filled with maggots. With no other choice, she poured the fuel directly into the open wound. She blacked out from the pain. When she woke up, she was still alive. And then, footsteps. Voices. She wasn't hallucinating. 3 local loggers had arrived at the hut. When they saw Julianne, barely alive, covered in wounds, sunburnt, weak beyond belief, they were horrified. They rushed her onto their boat. For the first time in 11 days, she felt safe. They traveled hours down the river to a remote village. From there, she was flown to a hospital. Julianne Koech had done the impossible. Of the 91 passengers on Lanza Flight 508, Julianne was the only one who survived. To this day, her story remains one of the most unbelievable survival tales in history. But let me ask you this. If you were lost in the jungle for 11 days, would you survive? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more crazy adventure stories.